Well, India is mourning the loss of its brave hearts who were brutally killed by the Pakistani army. Martyred Indian army soldiers Lance Naik Hemraj was cremated on Wednesday with full state honours at his village in Mathura in UP, while Lance Naik Sudhakar Singh will be cremated today in Jabalpur. But the question remains, will their sacrifice go in vain? The martyrs' families are in mourning, but with sorrow there is also simmering anger. They're seeking justice for India's brave, the Jawans who laid down their lives. Well, more gruesome details are emerging over the killing of 2 Indian soldiers by Pakistani army. The Indian army has confirmed that both the bodies of soldiers killed during an attack by Pakistani troops were decapitated. The army has still not been able to recover the head of Lance Naik Sudhakar Singh, which it believes was taken away by Pakistani soldiers as a trophy. The heinous act by the Pakistani troops is in gross violation of the Geneva Convention, to which Pakistan is a signatory. According to the treaty, wounded and sick soldiers should be treated humanely. The soldiers in particular should not be killed, injured or tortured, and captured men have a right to fair trial. All right, my colleague Shiv Arun now joins us live from Meendhar this morning. Shiv, as we were talking about the details that are emerging, there are also reports doing the rounds that how Indian army feels that the attack actually has a stamp of special security group of Pakistan. Just take us through what more details are coming out, and why is it that the Indian army feels that there is this particular group that was behind the attack on Indian Jawans?
That is what we're hearing from the Indian Army, Rishika. You're absolutely right. We've been hearing from our sources, both from the Army as well as the intelligence agencies, that what happened on Tuesday morning was almost certainly the handiwork of what is called a border action team. Now, a border action team is a hybrid unit of the Pakistan Army, which actually comprises regular soldiers, members of the Special Services Group, which is basically an elite, covert operations unit of the Pakistan Army, as well as actual terrorists, jihadis and militants. So it's a hybrid unit which is actually used to infiltrate into Indian territory. They were actually raised as units specifically for the purpose of pushing militants into Indian territory, except as we saw on Tuesday night, on that occasion, the soldiers themselves also crossed the line of control and actually came inside. Now, the important thing to remember here, Ruchika, is the unit that actually ambushed the Indian soldiers, there is no confirmation yet whether they were only soldiers or there were soldiers and some militants. And I think that is a manifestation and an indication of how difficult it has become to distinguish between a Pakistan Army soldier and the terrorists that they actually try and facilitate entry into the country. But the Special Services Group has been focusing on this sort of thing for a long time. And, viewers may be shocked, Ruchika, about what happened on Tuesday morning, the beheading of one of our soldiers, and the sheer barbarism of what happened. But I just want to draw our viewers' attention to an incident that happened in August 2011 on the line of control. It was a Rajput unit which was deployed there at that time. 4 soldiers, our sources here tell us, were actually beheaded in August 2011. That incident was completely covered up by the army in the interest of morale. But we've seen sporadic incidents of this kind actually happen, where soldiers' bodies have been mutilated by those coming in from the other side. In August 2011, it isn't confirmed if the people who came in were Pakistan Army soldiers or terrorists, but clearly the mutilation of bodies, taking the heads back into Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, is some kind of a field manual standard operating procedure to actually raise tensions, affect morale, and create this situation of anger and helplessness that we're seeing right now.
Right, so India, of course, piecing together details of that attack on Indian Jawans. Shiv, also questions being raised actually about whether there was any sort of specific intelligence that was not looked into. What is the army saying about whether there's been some sort of intelligence failure as well?
Every attack of this kind, can almost definitely be put down to some kind of an intelligence failure or the other, Rishika. But the fact is, we have specific information on headlines today that the multi-agency center had actually made a specific intelligence input regarding the possibility of a special services group or border action team incursion into the Mendhar sector itself. It said Mendhar, Poonch, any of the other neighboring sectors. The point is the multi-agency center, the unified command structure, the intelligence structure that actually, operates in Jammu and Kashmir, provides a huge number of inputs every month about, what is likely to happen. Several of those pieces of intelligence are actionable. Several of them are, just general warnings and general advisories on what is likely to happen. But we're told that there was a specific input about the possibility of Pakistan Army soldiers and terrorists together trying to, infiltrate into Indian territory and create some kind of an ambush of this kind. Now, we've spoken to two army officers who vouch for the fact that this was a piece of intelligence that was so specific that it was actually almost absurd how specific it was. Now the fact is, was that piece of intelligence ignored? Was it not taken seriously? Was it clubbed together with other pieces of intelligence? One doesn't really know. But I put that question to the army, and they said that specific intelligence is a relative term. We get specific intelligence all the time. So the question of actually responding to specific intelligence, there can never be anything absolute as far as that is concerned. But in the loosest sense, yes, definitely there was an intelligence failure because on the one hand, you've got a piece of, an input suggesting that something like this was going to happen in a specific time frame. And there you go, it did happen.
Shivaru reporting from Mendhar. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you to get the latest inputs there.